Hi guys, I didn't plan on doing two videos today, but somehow it turned out that way. I was actually doing some research online for putting together a marine fragrances deep dive. Yes, I'm doing it. It's still summertime, and I think it's a nice way to end the summer with a marine fragrances video. So stay tuned for that. But I was looking up a fragrance from the house of Jacques Fath, and it's a fragrance created by Cecile Zarokian called Velours. A fragrance that I really enjoyed. And I knew I only had a little bit left in there, so it's almost out. It's a 50 ml bottle. And I really enjoyed this one, created by Cecile Zarokian. It's a fig-focused fragrance, so it's green and bitter, with a lot of like sea notes, marine notes, but there's also aromatics and things like that thrown in there as well. So I went to the Jacques Fath website, and I noticed this is not on their website, which means it's discontinued. But I was doing some research, and I found it online at FragranceNet for 50 ml, $17. So then I started looking around on the website to see if there are any other Jacques Fath fragrances. And I was looking up on their website, seeing what's discontinued and what's selling at FragranceNet. And there's quite a few fragrances that are selling at really great prices. And I think if you guys are in the market for budget fragrances that are quality, definitely watch this video and see and hear what these fragrances are all about that I'm going to talk to you about, and get yourself bottles, especially since they're discontinued. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fragrances on the FragranceNet website, and I have them linked here through YouTube. So you can, click through and then get those fragrances there. But the prices are so good. I think, again, these are going to sell out right away, especially since they're discontinued. People are going to look for their favorite fragrances. They're going to find them there, and they'll buy one or two, especially after they find out they're discontinued. And I'm giving you guys the heads up that they are discontinued. So I've got 5 of the 6 fragrances. 2 of the fragrances are not discontinued. One of the ones I do not have is not discontinued. That's on the website. One of the ones I have is not discontinued that I have here, and I'll tell you about it. But let's go ahead and start with the first fragrance, a fragrance created by Cecile Zarokian. I want to make sure I don't give you the wrong information. This is discontinued. It is selling for 50 ml, $17. Great price if you like the idea of fig, and if you like the idea of, marine notes together. And I guess I will include this in my deep dive video, but I'll give you a warning that it's discontinued. And it's a shame that this is discontinued, because when Jacques Fath relaunched as a niche house, because Jacques Fath used to be a fashion house, and I've worn Jacques Fath fragrances in the past. The last fragrance I wore from Jacques Fath was, I believe, Homme, which launched in the late 1990s. It was super sweet and ambery. But they relaunched around 2015 or 2016, and they launched with 4 fragrances created by Cecile Zarokian. This is one of them. So they had Velours. Of course, they brought back Green Water, reinterpreted by Cecile Zarokian. They also had Curacao Bay, and they had Belle Ambre. So Green Water, Curacao Bay, Belle Ambre are still selling. This one, unfortunately, has gotten discontinued. And again, it's $17 for a 50 ml, and it's totally worth having. So this is just to let you guys know if you're in the market. I actually bought 2 bottles of this, and I can't predict how many they have. So jump on it ASAP and grab yourself a bottle. The thing I like about Velours is it kind of reminds me of Curacao Bay. If you like Curacao Bay, I feel like Curacao Bay is probably the most popular of the 4 that Cecile Zarokian created when they first relaunched these fragrances. By the way, when they first relaunched these fragrances, they were at Barney's. Macy's has been selling these for a while. And this does remind me of the marine notes in Curacao Bay, but this has that green bitter fig note that's in here that really nicely contrasts. So just imagine a fig tree grove, and it's the green that we're smelling here, not the fruit itself. So if you like fig fragrances, you like the green notes in fig fragrances, and you get that sea breeze saltiness, this is definitely one that should satisfy. So this is Velours. Get it as soon as you can, because I don't think these will linger around too long, because $17 for a 50 ml is so outrageously underpriced. They're going to sell out right away. So let's move on to some of the other fragrances. I've got 2 fragrances back to back created by Luca Maffei. So the first fragrance I'm going to mention is Rosso Epicureo. So I've got pretty full bottle here. This one I actually enjoyed more. This is a tuberose focused fragrance. It's very tuberose forward, but the prices on these are outrageous. 100 ml for 21 bucks. You can get a 50 ml for 18 bucks. So again, if you like tuberose, it's like so cheap. I mean, you can buy probably $100 worth of fragrances and you end up with 5 bottles approximately, and also get free shipping at FragranceNet. And you have a bunch of fragrances that you've bought and you're set with. So this is a Luca Maffei fragrance. It's not my favorite. It is quite red, and the strip goes red as well, as you can see. So be warned to spray that on white clothing. But it's got a jammy fruitiness, but it's also very, very tuberose forward. There's a vintage quality about it, maybe lightly reminding me of Fracas. It's a bit like Fracas to me, because there is a bubblegummy effect happening in here. So if you like that sort of thing, I think this is one for you to try. It's quite white floral forward, but also kind of jammy, fruity, and bubblegummy, because tuberose to me gives me the idea of bubblegum for some strange reason. But it's an overdose of tuberose. So that is Rosso Epicureo, discontinued. It's not on the Jacques Fath website. I want to make sure I don't read wrong. This is definitely discontinued. And I checked the Jacques Fath website. It's not on the Jacques Fath website. So it's definitely been removed. Let's move on to the next one. It's called Loree du Bois. This is it right here. Let me get a strip. This is also created by Luca Maffei. And this is selling for 100 ml for $24. 100 ml for $24. This is a 50 ml, so you get this one for $17, just like the 50 ml of Velours Sud. So what is this one all about? This one smells like autumn. It's dry. It's got mimosa flower, which typically grows in the spring, but that dryness and mixed with the other notes that are in here, because there's some ambery notes and things like that, giving me kind of like dry autumn-like effect happening. I wouldn't say this is my all-time favorite, but by the sound of it, maybe you might like it. There's warm spices in here, musky notes, but I think that mimosa pops really brightly, so you'll really, really get that. And mimosa kind of has a light smell of almonds. Not as strong as... not as strong... there's a few other notes that kind of give me this almondy effect, but this mimosa flower does as well. But I think even though there might be a light hint of it in here, it's warmed up and made into kind of an autumn-like experience for me, especially since the mimosa flower is a bit like a dry flower, almost like Immortelle, but not quite like Immortelle. This does have woods and spices as well. I think it's a solid release. It's just not one that I really enjoyed from the house. So you might dig it. Check it out. It is very heavy on the mimosa, whereas Rosso Epicureo, I said, was heavy on the tuberose. This one is distinctly mimosa, but with all the other notes that I have mentioned as well. So it's a nice concoction, and it goes very autumn-like for me. All right, the next fragrance is also created by Cecile Zarokian. This is TEMPÉTE d'Automne. So this one, as you can see, I've used quite a bit of. But unfortunately, my bottle cap is kind of messed up. It came off of this thing, so it just won't go in there. But this is kind of woody, dry, aromatic, milky also. I guess there's also a lot of leather in this. You get a bit of a leatheriness, but I feel like the milkiness kind of tones it down a little bit. But it does have a kind of autumn-like presence, even though I mentioned Loree du Bois is very autumn-like, but that mimosa is a bit throwing me off, because mimosa is typically, featured for spring fragrances, but it giving me the autumn vibe. Here, this is so super autumn-like. There's a lot of aromatics here. There's spicy touches, and of course, the leather is behind there with that kind of lactonic milkiness. Now remember, Cecile Zarokian has also created a fragrance for Javoy called Remember Me. And I think these might have come out around the same time. I'm not 100% sure, but they might have. And I don't know if she was, I mean, I'm not saying this is smelling like Remember Me, but it utilizes milk in here. But the milk basically gives you this kind of a cozy, comforting smoothness next to the, all the aromatics and the woods and, of course, the leather. So that's TEMPÉTE d'Automne, and I didn't tell you the price on this. It's 100 ml for 21, 50 ml for 16. Did I tell you the prices on the Loree du Bois? 100 ml for 20. I'm sorry, that's not the right one. Loree du Bois is this, and that is 100 ml for 24, 50 ml for $17. So great prices on these. I've got one more fragrance I'm going to talk to you about, and then I'll talk to you about one that is on their website I do not have, but great prices for that as well. I'm not as good as the ones that I'm talking about here. This is Velours BOISÉ, and this is not discontinued. This is also created by Luca Maffei. So we are working with two perfumers, Cecile Zarokian and Luca Maffei, but a lot of the new fragrances by Jacques Fath are created by Jean-Christophe Hérault. I'm actually waiting for their new fragrance called Musk Couture, and I actually shot a video with Jean-Christophe Hérault at Encens talking about the Musk Couture that's launching. And if you guys don't know this perfumer, he has created Aventus, probably one of the world's most famous fragrances. But Velours BOISÉ is woody, boozy. This is also very autumn-like to me, but I think the kind of notes that are used in here is giving me an autumn-like effect. The booziness is quite delicious in this, and it's got these kind of dry, leafy experience and ambery in the dry down as well. But throughout the life of the fragrance, there's like that booziness, and the whiskey boozy note is quite delicious in this one. So this one's definitely totally worth it, but this one's not discontinued. But still, 100 ml for $22 for this one is totally worth it. And the 50 ml on this one is $17 as well. So the last fragrance that has is a fragrance called Les Frivolités, created by Luca Maffei once again, and it's not discontinued. And it's 50 ml for $37. I don't know anything about this fragrance. I've never smelled it, or maybe I have. I just can't remember it. But it's still it's still on their website. So to go over the fragrances once again, Velours discontinued, 50 ml is only available for $17. Rosso Epicureo, 100 ml, 21, 50 ml, 18, and it's discontinued. So Loree du Bois, discontinued, 100 ml, 24, 50 ml, 17. Then we've got TEMPÉTE d'Automne, 100 ml, 21, 50 ml, 16. It's discontinued. And then the last fragrance I have here, Velours BOISÉ, not discontinued, but 100 ml, 22, 50 ml, 17. And then, of course, the Les Frivolités, which I do not have here, is 50 ml, $37. But I made sure these are the correct info I gathered from the Jacques Fath website. And Jacques Fath is a French brand, and this is what they are showing on their website. Maybe they're vaulted, I don't know, but they're not on the website anymore, and these are being cleared out. What's available on the website, of course, it's not discontinued. Green Water is their big fragrance, I think. L'Elodène is discontinued, which I do not have here, and it's not on the Jacques Fath website, or it's not on the Fragrance Net. So, I mean, there is a placeholder for it, but there's no stock. It's sold out, it says. And that one I actually reviewed, and I quite enjoyed it. It's a nice vetiver fragrance, but they also just launched like 2 years ago another vetiver fragrance, so makes sense that they're discontinuing one of their vetiver fragrances. Lilas Exquis is not discontinued. It's a lilac focused fragrance. Red Shoes not discontinued. It's a kind of a fruity, kind of a fresh fruity fragrance like the Rouge Trafalgar from Dior. It's kind of similar in that line. Of course, Curacao Bay is not discontinued. Vetiver Gris is not discontinued. Jasmin de Toscane is not discontinued. And their latest fragrance, before the new one coming, Encens Copal, is not discontinued. But I just wanted to let you guys know about these fragrances. They are selling now. I don't know how long they'll have these. I'm sure they'll run out. The prices are so good. Buy not one bottle, but 2 bottles. As I said, I've bought 2 bottles of Velours because I really enjoy it. 50 ml for $17. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances from Jacques Fath. Add a comment below. And please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And also click the bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos. See you guys later. Bye-bye.